In this video, we're talking about reinforcing your team's capabilities. Reinforce your team capabilities. Because here's what I tell my clients. There is no force more powerful than that of a cohesive team. And when team self-esteem is up, so is your productivity. So we want to reinforce what they're doing well and excel at. Okay? And we want to reassign positions as need be to capitalize on your team members' strengths, right? If your team, remember that example that I used in one of the other videos? They took an accountant and put them in customer service, okay? Not the best use of that person's capabilities, right? So as you get to know your team members and their strengths and their capabilities, put them where they're going to be most effective for your team to work cohesively and get you guys to your goal. Next, you want to point out the potential that we see in the team member. As a coach, sometimes I see potential in my clients that they don't even see in themselves. So there's that supportive aspect of, hey, you've got these capabilities, right? And sometimes we have to make ourselves these coaches, right? When we're leaders, we have to coach them. Hey, you're great at X, Y, and Z. That's why you're in this position. Let's see what you got, okay? And next, verbal or written acknowledgement. We all have a need as humans to be acknowledged, don't we? Right? There's something in us that wants to have some sort of acknowledgement, either big or small. And if it's not acknowledgement, at least to be needed. So what's great as leaders, if we just give those people a little something verbal, like, hey, nice work, or write a little note. Hey, great job on that project. Now we're starting to build that relationship, and those little things go a long way. Right? Because remember in one of the earlier videos, we talked about what our team members want. They want to be cared for. They want to feel like you care. So when they do something well, reinforce that behavior. Hey, nice work. Great presentation last week. Good job on closing X deal. Okay? These things, we get bogged down with so much that we do, but when we remember to do this stuff and take care of our team, it's going to help us get done what we need to get done. Okay? Awesome. And when it comes to innovation, this is big. We touched on this slightly before. Make it okay for them to fail. Within limits, of course. But if you do not change and innovate in your company, your organization is done. In the next video, we're going to look at a couple examples of that. Okay? Because here's what's real. Here's what we know about business. What worked in the past will not always work in the future. Okay? And especially if we get an authoritative mindset and style of leadership, it's very hard to change those, isn't it? There's a lot of red tape that goes into changing that stuff. So we really need to start taking a look at that and saying, okay, well, even if we're working within those confines, let's set up some guidelines so that, hey, they can experiment, right? To set up an experimental department maybe, where that's all they're doing is trying and failing all day. Right? And they're in the little lab making things happen. Okay? Good. So let's recap reinforce team capabilities. There is no force more powerful than that of a cohesive team. And when your team self-esteem is up, so is your productivity. That's what's important. So you want to reinforce what they're doing well and excel at. And reassign positions as needed to capitalize on those team members' strengths. And then you want to point out the potential that we see in each team member, right? Because we may see potential in our staff that they don't see in themselves. Give them verbal or written acknowledgement. Make them feel cared for, right? Nice work. Great job on X project last week. And when innovating, make it okay to fail within limits, right? Because if we don't change and innovate, our organization is done. All right? Good stuff. You guys got this. We'll see you in the next video.